Gamers, welcome back. Today we got the big Japanese changes. They might not seem big, but they're pretty big. So let me go through these. I went through these in the patch notes. Tatara cost, which is the... Wait, Tatara is the tier 1 melee upgrade, right? Yeah, it is. 25 stone, I said silver yesterday. 25 stone, 75 gold to 25 stone, 50 gold. So a slight buff, nothing major, but cool. Koka Township Shinobi cost reduced from 60-60 and 22.5 seconds to 50-50 and 20 seconds. The devs are trying really bad to buff Shinobi for land maps. The only thing that's happening is they're buffing Japanese further on water. Like, that's what's happening here. And Japanese is already extremely good on water, especially hybrid maps, and this will not make people pick Japanese on land maps. It's just not gonna happen, okay? Stop trying to make it happen, devs. It's not going to happen. Next thing, Temple of Equality. This is the age 3 landmark that nobody goes for, and they're trying to give it some buffs. So the monks are 80 gold. Zen cost reduced from 300 wood, 200 food to 200 wood, 100 food. Research time reduced from 35 to 30. So I'm quickly gonna age up so I can show you guys in a jiffy. Temple of Equality. So instead of floating gate, this is the landmark they're buffing. So again, Shinobi are now 50-50, which, to be fair, 50-50 is very cheap and they're very strong. So maybe people are gonna start making them on land maps. If you guys don't know, Shinobi can like kill a horseman one-on-one. Like, they're very strong. They will like annihilate spears and they're gonna kill archers one-on-one. So maybe people are gonna start using them. Who knows, right? They also were more responsive in one of the last patches, so that's good. Now, these monks now, the Buddhist monks, are 80 gold, so they're not 100 gold anymore. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you go this landmark, what this landmark does, the floating gate gives you Rishiros to put in, you know, TCs or production buildings or whatever else. What this landmark does, you get Buddhist monks, and they cast like a single target ability that automatically, that reduces the enemy damage by 50% for 60 seconds, okay? And this might seem like whatever, because it's just on one unit, but this is actually very broken against OTD, because OTD has big units, and if you reduce their damage by 50%, they're like complete trash. So that's very nice. And when they wall a law, they increase the damage of nearby ally units for 20% for 20 seconds. So if you have this Buddhist monk and you get a relic, you wall a law in battle, all your units get 20% damage for 20 seconds. So the upgrade that they have buffed is Zen, which is this. Buddhist monks generate 25 gold every 60 seconds. So it used to be a lot more expensive. I thought this was an Imperial upgrade, actually. I didn't know it's a castle upgrade. Once you get a couple of monks, which only cost 80 gold, if you get this upgrade, all your monks that you have on the map, they don't have to do anything. They can just sit in your base. You get this upgrade. So I'm going to show you in a jiffy. So now all these guys, 10 monks, will generate each 25 gold every 60 seconds. So that's pretty nice. They're like, I mean, they're like relics, but they do cost supply. So this is, you know, it's now more viable than before, because making it cheaper means that these monks will pay off faster. Oh, you get 25 gold when they get out. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. So if you get the upgrade and then you make monks, I mean, obviously you would make monks first to start getting relics. But after that, if you get the upgrade, you can, once you make them, you get 25 gold immediately. And you can see right here, it's about to pop in 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 250 gold right there. So The downside of this, you might think like, oh, this is broken as hell. Why doesn't everyone do this? Well, the downside is they do heal, yes, and they do reduce damage, but they do cost supply. So in order for this monk to pay off, they need to be alive for 2 minutes, right? For you to pay off the cost of the monk, and then after that you're gaining gold. But eventually you are going to need to, kill them to make more army or make more villagers. Which at that point, the question is, maybe it's better to just make second TC and make villagers, right? But that's a discussion for another time. I just want to show you the changes. Now, Yorishiro and Floating Gate received a lot of nerfs, which, to be honest, is deserved, because Yorishiro, Floating Gate was an insane landmark. So, what it does is Yorishiro, which is the little thing you put into the buildings, production speed nerfed from 200% to 150%. So, got a little bit of a nerf there. And you usually put this in barracks or stables for mounted samurai. Yorishiro gold income, this is the big one, reduced from 75 gold per minute to 60 gold per minute. So for those that don't know, if you went Floating Gate, in Imperial, you can have 6 Yorishiros, which means if you put them in, if you put them in forges, you would be getting 450 gold. Passive. Like, that's crazy amount of gold. That's like having 6 relics in one-on-one. Right? Per minute. 450 gold per minute. So that is very strong, and I am glad they nerfed it. Because this landmark, I recently did a landmark tier list, and I rated this landmark easy S tier. It's very, very good. I think I rated it S tier. Now, production from Yorishiro on town centers has been increased, so buffed. So it's now from 25% reduction to 30% reduction, from 15 seconds to 14 seconds. Thank you. They buffed it here, they nerfed it here, which I think is deserved. Now, all of these changes are good, cool, whatever. This is the biggest change, in my opinion, which is Daimyo Manor upgrade cost reduced from 300 stone to 225 stone. And I'm gonna leave the game now and just show you an example of this. I haven't tested the build, okay, so I haven't played a game with this. There is already a build that is, you open Daimyo plus stable, and then you go Bannermen, mounted Bannermen. Now, the reason why this is interesting is basically giving Japanese a night opener. And night opener, as you guys know, part of why English is so strong is because of the king opener. So this opens up a lot of possibility for Japanese Civ. You might think, well, 75 stone is not that much, right? But it's not about it being cheaper 75 stone. It means it's arriving 75 resources faster, which you can potentially hit some timings to disrupt your opponent's economy, to, you know, be able to potentially force them to make spearmen. And this is quite a decent buff, in my opinion. It's not going to make Japanese broken. They did nerf Floating Gate. They buffed the other landmark, but they gave them something in feudal, which I think is where Japanese lacked in the first place. So I personally really like this change. I even discussed before my stream to give Japanese, like, at some point, like, free daimyo, or like once you age up to feudal, daimyo slowly starts upgrading, or a possibility of getting 1 bannerman for free, like instead of being 0 out of 0 now to be 0 out of 1, because I thought that would help Japanese quite a bit. They went with this route where daimyo is cheaper, which I think is fine too. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to attempt the build. Again, I haven't practiced this at all. So we'll see how it goes. It might go terrible, it might work out. I'm going to get some sheep here. So the idea behind this, and again, I am not 100% sure. I am about 80% sure that this might become the meta build with Japanese, which if it does, I will make a guide for you guys so you're caught up with all the latest Japanese meta gaming moments, meta builds, because I think it's going to be quite decent. So basically, we're going to just do a normal age up, And again, I don't have the perfect timings, but the idea is you mine enough gold to get the mounted Bannermen, and we'll see how much stone I would have at the point of the age up. So the idea is, so every time you drop off gold, you get stone too, right? So the idea is, all this stone that you get, let's say, does anyone know how much you get stone? I'm not gonna do math on stream. By the time you age up, does anyone know? With 4 villagers? If Twitch chat would help, I would appreciate that very much. So the idea is, as you age up, you build a stable immediately, you upgrade Daimyo, and you send the Bannerman. Immediately, you make it, so that you can go across the map and harass your opponent. Yeah, it is less than 225, I know that, but I'm not sure how much it is exactly. So we're gonna go Kura Storehouse. We're gonna start chopping wood. So I'll leave the numbers like this, and then we'll see. We'll adjust if needed, right? So this might be like a Japanese Bannerman opening into Castle Rush, like you used to do. Just now you have a Bannerman. Think of like English opener into Castle Rush, so something like that. Or this could be something like a Bannerman opening into potentially Feudal all-in. I know it might seem like it's not that big of a deal, but Japanese is always the civ defending, right? So if you have now an opener where you are the one putting pressure on the opponent, it opens up a lot of stuff for you. It opens up potential for second TC. It opens up potential for transitioning into archers and doing some kind of archer horseman all in. It opens up possibility for going samurais or onabugeishas or aging up to castle a lot easier. So that's something that we're gonna test right now. So I'm definitely gonna need to get some stone. Again, I don't know how much. So this build is definitely already scuffed, right? Definitely not a good build. But again, I'm just showing you guys the idea behind it. I might even need to age up with 2 only. I mine too much gold. So what I could do is have only 2 on gold, because I only need, I think 110 gold is the Bannerman. So imagine I have 110 gold. I would basically have extra like 120 stone. So I would be able to get Daimyo almost immediately. This is why we practice builds. This is why we get, what's it called? And yeah, Tavara is now cheaper, as you can see. Okay, so the idea again, I think with a good build, you could get Daimyo Manor completed at like 450, 452 maybe. Right? And once you do that, you make a stable. Boom, boom, boom. So imagine this is now 4 minutes and 10 seconds when I aged up, right? You're making a stable, you're getting Daimyo, and then you can do something like this. Right? Imagine now it's like, I don't know what the time it is, but let's say it's like 4:30, 4:40. Daimyo finishes, you queue up Bannerman, and now you can go harass the opponent. They build very quickly as well, by the way, 15 seconds. And then you can go harass your opponent, and then you're slowly aging up to castle. So this might be a castle rush build with now potential threat from the Bannerman, that's going to arrive at a pretty good time. This might be like a second TC now. You open a Bannerman and then you go into second TC. Might be a lot of things. And I'm pretty excited to try this one because putting pressure on your opponent is, I feel like, very underestimated how much value you get from it. The fact that instead of me making a tower now to Castle Rush, I can make a unit and not only defend myself, but actually I can actually harass the opponent so they have to make a tower. Is the Bannerman that good? So the Bannerman has 230 health and it has 3/3 armor with 18 damage, and it has charge as well. And it has the block. So what this means, if you're playing against a Knight Civ, you can charge into Knights and you can kill Knights because you're going to block their charge attack. So, yeah. They're very good. What's the HP of the feudal knight? Feudal French knight? 190. Yeah, there you go. And this deflect blocks the full attack. So you can block the charge, which is a lot from the knights. So the charge is, let's see. The charge is how much? 28 plus 18, 46. So if you were to get this, you would not be able to two-shot, right? It's 46. So even if you get the +1, you're not able to one-shot. But I mean, you could three-shot the villagers. So yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited for it. Like, I love these changes that are like super small changes, but they can have quite a big impact. And I know this is going to have less of an impact at lower levels, but this will have, I think, a bigger impact on higher levels. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm excited to try it, and I'm definitely, if it works out nicely, I'm definitely going to make a guide for it. Yeah, you could potentially get a scout, get Tatara for +1 attack, and then the scout hits the villager once or twice, and you can do a charge plus auto attack and kill a villager. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think it's a good change. Giving Japanese something more in feudal, in my opinion, is pretty cool, because that's where they kind of suck quite a bit. And I think lowering their tempo in castle in exchange of that is completely okay. You could get +2 in feudal, yeah, but by the time you get +2 in feudal, you know, you're not going to be killing villagers for free. So your opponent is going to have quite a bit of units then. But like I said, this sets you up quite nicely. I mean, it's literally like a very good comparison is English. You know how English can get 2 TC for free? The reason they're getting 2 TC for free is because they have king, and then the opponent has to make spearmen, and they just plant out their second TC. So instead of second TC, look at Castle Rush for Japanese. Do I think it's enough for Japan in feudal though? I don't know if it's enough, but I don't think it's. I do think it's a good buff. There's a good chance that Japanese will still aim to go castle, but it will be a lot stronger going into castle, but then your castle is weaker. So your power spike in castle grows weaker. Because right now, Japanese, like, this is how I feel the Japanese castle rushing is, right? It starts off like this. Like, this is the line, right? And Japanese, this is feudal, this is castle, this is imperial. So Japanese is like flatlined, right? And then it's like barely doing anything. And then it goes like this, I feel like. And then it goes down, flatlines a bit to imperial, and then it goes here. Right? And now I think that's more, you know, like this. Which I think is great. So, there it is. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I'll be making a guide for Japanese. Excited to figure out what we can do with them. If you're watching on YouTube, check me out on Twitch. I'm probably live right now. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going, brother.